Hello and welcome. I recently figured out that I hadn't done a tour on my latest finished sketchbook, partially because I forgot if it was finished or not, but I've just decided that it's as finished as it's going to be because I already bought a new one. There's a lot of unfinished sketches in here, which, it's a sketchbook that's kind of the point of it. But there's also maybe a few pages that just might be as good as blank. Usually I try to fill it up as much as I can, partially because I don't like wasting paper anymore, at least, because in the past I've done so quite oftenly. This is like my favorite type of sketchbook in size and paper. It's the Talents Art Creations ones. They are covered in stickers as usual. Um, if you're questioning, some of these are bought at cons. Like this one is from a friend of mine. She was tabling at a con and I was happy to get it from her. Some of them are just, I think this one was in a, um, what's it called? It's like Belgian McDonald's. We call it's called Quick, but they had a Naruto thing in their like Happy Meals, like the kids' meals. There it's more called Fun Box. So Naruto's on my cover also. There's also two that are just my own art, and a few random ones that I get here and there. Few of them are just stray stickers my wife gave me because she does work at a print shop at the moment and she likes just making random sticker sheets at times. Um, as usual, my first pages are just swatch pages. There's nothing much to it, but I do always like doing that. It works best to see how every material works on the sketchbook, and also I'm completely forgetful. Recently, I did get a swatch book in which I just bought the same version of the sketchbook I'm currently using in a smaller version purely for swatches, because only using the first few pages or last pages of my sketchbook can be quite limiting, especially if you want to work with more mediums. Most of this is crayons, because I do love sketching with crayons. Um, my first one was just like a silly doodle to get back into things. I try not to think too much about the first sketch in a sketchbook because it can be quite daunting. It's like the first thing people see. So I like to make something just stupid and silly. So it's Kokichi from Danganronpa because I find him fun to draw. I do think I drew this at the hospital as well, so which brings me to the next one, in which it's just a nurse cat trying to draw from memory. But I'm not very familiar with drawing cats. It's something I do want to get better at, but keep putting off. Um, the same goes for other animals, so sometimes there will be hamsters because I love hamsters a lot. Sometimes they were based on my late hamster pictures, sometimes just things of the internet. Um, there's an attempt at one of my OCs, and I think this I saw as like a practice, and I wanted to try it out, but then didn't do anything with it because I had no inspiration. You can see more hamster stuff because I am planning to make like a kind of zine explaining how to properly care for hamsters because I think it's very important and not enough people know how to do it. And I would like to maybe be able to like give it to pet shops if they will allow me. Which I have been talking to a few of them, and most of the workers are like, yeah, I don't know. And I don't want to bother them too much, but still, in case. I do still want to bring out the information. Um, so I think I started this one around October, which is why there's a sort of autumn Halloween related drawing here of my OC and I. Trying a different style. I think this is based on like some comic style I saw somewhere, and I wanted to emulate that. As usual, there's always an attempt at doing something that isn't random characters. This time it's a pie tart fruit thing that I didn't finish rendering at all because it's just tiring. Plus, I don't think I like the pencils I was using. Um, Miku, but from Rolling Girl, because sometimes you have an existential crisis. Uh, the sketchbook is where my South Park phase was kind of fading out, so there's like a few more sketches of it in there, but then I got into the next thing and you will see what it is. And by the end of the sketchbook, I got into a third thing, which is now my whole existence. But those are for later. Have South Park for now. Again, it was around Halloween, so this was based on a older drawing I did, and it's actually in here. Might just state it next to here, but it's based on this drawing I did. I don't think I ever wrote the date on it, but this was maybe 2016, 2018, something like that. I always really liked how it turned out. The style was very much more comic style, silly-ish, and I did a lot more watercolor back then. But I like to think how my OCs changed so much throughout the years, so I wanted to redo this to see how my style changed and my OCs. So yeah, technically I just drew another OC than this one because I wasn't fully certain about how I felt about this OC after um like lots of comments online, not on my art, but comments on other art. So I replaced them with my other OC, Renee, and of course my OC and I. The episode of Ladybug that came out, I really liked him. He's so grumpy. I like that they gave him green hair. It looks awful, but I love it. Um, but yeah, I think this one I stuck in later because it wasn't December yet around this time. But these I made for my students because there were exams and I like being extra, so I put this on the exam. I also gave some out as like holiday cards. But yeah, also a very fun thing. One of my students actually colored her in after the exam and made her completely demonic. Love that. Another attempt at an OC that I was just trying out because I thought my OC Renee deserved a boyfriend, I guess. Looking at it now, he just looks like a human version of SpongeBob, and I will not be able to stop thinking of that. More like OC stuff, because at some points I really like to just think about them, even though they're nothing but things out inside my head. This was based on something I wanted to do for an art class, because a lot of my students were not really into drawing, so I wanted to give them something semi-simple, something to just work with colors and lines, but I wanted to try out how to do it first, so I would know how to explain it better. So yeah, that's just that. I don't know how YouTube feels about nudity, so I won't show too much of this, but just gesture drawings, really. Yeah, this was probably around the time the Scott Pilgrim animated series came out, so I got obsessed with Todd, out of all characters. And I tried drawing my OC Renee in the style of the show because I do really like the style. And every now and again, because I used to be obsessed with comics as well, I do like to take over the style again. Just for funsies, you know? Sometimes you just gotta play around with styles. So yeah, here's the boy again. Here I attempted to like make my own creature. Again, I'm obsessed with hamsters. Love them, and I wanted to like make my own hamster like creature. I have like a more detailed explanation on how to make them because I wanted to make my own species, just to then feel too unconfident in doing so. Also, the page felt empty, so I doodled a little alien. So then we got into my next obsession, or resurface of obsession, because every now and again I get obsessed with Invader Zim. I rewatch the show, and I just spiral into it. But yeah, this was like my attempt at drawing Zim in like my own take, my own style, even though I do not have an own style. So that was the attempt at that, trying to just get that down. More of that. Also, you'll see that there's like a lot of crayon stuff and glitter gel pens because when you work with a sketchbook, the difference with that and digital art is that it can give you more texture and more things to play around with. So I like to take that to its fullest. So yeah, just more crayon stuff, doodles. I got into a Discord server with a lot of Invader Zim fans, and a lot of them created these magnificent OCs. So of course, I was also like, I want my own Invader Zim OC. So there will be a few of those. Some of them like change through the course of the sketchbook because I like changing the designs. Like I just come up with something and then decide what I like and what I don't like, and edit that. So, for instance, this girl ended up to be this girl. I think I named them Aya. I'm not really good with names. And this is just an attempt at another type of species. I think I was just watching a lot of those species videos, so I was like, I really want to try that. But, you know, it might not be for me. um, Here's just another. I think I did color her digitally, but I cannot remember if I did, and honestly, I don't care too much. This I think I did to just see how well I could still do the typical anime style, and the answer is not. So there's that. Here's another attempt at a OC species, more space type. Me being more obsessed with Invader Zim. Me being more obsessed with Invader Zim. Around this time, this I know was in December because I visited my wife, and I doodled a cat that was sprawled around there in like a random corner shop that I took a picture of. More obsession with Invader Zim. Here I tried drawing something out of my mind because I was talking about how much I suck at drawing poses from my mind because I do have aphantasia, meaning I don't see shit in my head. It's all black. So trying to come up with a pose full-on for myself can be quite hard. Sometimes it works out better than other times. This was not one of the good times. Me deciding that Mad Fodder is still a very great game and that I should draw fan art of it and then not doing anything with it. Me getting really into My Little Pony again because I think we rewatched the show together for the second time. We being me and my wife because she really loves the show as well. So I wanted to create my own Pony OC as well. And I made her as obnoxiously colored as possible because that is what I enjoy. And yes, these are made with gel pens. A space hamster, not to be confused with giant space hamsters from D&D. My girl again. An attempt at drawing Geronimo Stilton as a human because I saw this really, really great artist on TikTok that draws him, and honestly, they're amazing. Here, the glitter is intense. Anyway, another pony you see, another sign of my obsession with Invader Zim. Me hearing Blue Exorcist is getting a new season after so many years. I haven't watched it yet because I didn't have time. Also, completely done in gel pens because I have a problem. Also, here I actually tried to like thumbnail some poses and decide that I like neither of them and just do something completely different. The combination of my two interests at the time, well, three if you count the glitter gel pens, but you know, another doodle of my pony OC. For information, yes, this did take a long time to color with a gel pen. But here's my OC Renee. Also, yes, they're lesbians, because lesbian ponies are a thing, and I love them. I think here the glitter just got too much, and I decided to not draw on that, plus I didn't know what to draw, I guess. But also more Invader Zim, following the trend of being obsessed with My Little Pony at the same time. My OC Donna, she was in one of my previous sketchbooks as well. More Invader Zim stuff. That one, like, I don't remember if it's the emo or scene art style that people call it, but that one style. I wanted to like study it and see what I could do with it. So these are mostly based on like things I found on the internet. To see, well, how it would work. I found it very difficult to actually draw very thin limbs. It is somehow very tricky, probably because I do usually draw more curvy people. More Invader Zim stuff, this time Tack. This is one of my favorites in my book because I really try to play around with the colors and the gel pens and just go crazy with it, and I actually really like this piece. This one I do not. This one I'm not sure. It was a weird angle to work at, and while I do quite like the coloring, a lot of it just seems off. Here we have one of those that I just didn't finish. Applejack, but human. This is one of the other things that I really like about doing sketchbooks, is that I can do stuff like this. Yeah, that's it. This was a sketch for a cosplay I did. If you know who they are, sorry. More things that I do love about sketchbooks is being able to go ham with stickers. So I filled the entire background with all kinds of space stickers I had around and drew like Zim in that particular emo scene style, which again, I'm apologizing if I can't figure out which of the two it exactly is. Hatsune Miku, I did write down who the design is based on. Also, it's not Hatsune Miku, but Natsune Miku. They're very original OC. I loved it. Okay. I love the idea. One of my OCs is a pony, well, alicorn, which just don't get too mad at her being an alicorn. I know you guys are very protective of that. Know that in my lore, she's supposed to be a goddess of creation and, well, not creation, creativity, so be gentle on her. Big Macintosh. That one cup, that was a lot of money. I wouldn't pay that much money for a cup, but if you do, you do you. Craft is hard. I can't do pottery. McDonald's Miku that I didn't end up finishing. No clue why. I think I just didn't like it. I drew the eyes too big. And once I noticed that, I was like, never mind. There's a few things of Sayano Uta in here, which I know is probably pretty controversial if you've seen the game, which I'm sorry. I just like very weird things, I guess. And I do love the like gross aesthetic that the game has, and Saya is a great character. If you ignore some of the other stuff, Human Pinkie Pie that I didn't color because one of my OCs, Bella, she likes necromancy and like other stuff like that. Yeah, and I do love combining my interests. So Zimnuita, a humanoid version of my pony OC. Another Invader Zim OC that didn't really get further than just one or two sketches. Her name is slipping me right now and I feel so bad. But the Yandere Uto, I think this was around Valentine. I really love the pose from Alien, so I draw it a lot. Again, it was around Valentine for sure. This time I did color her. I kept her more pink skin because I don't want people to murder me. Also, I think she really would love girl. I see Renee trying like a different perspective and like a semblance of a background. Me listening to a lot of creepypastas once again and deciding that perhaps I should try trying Tiki Toby, even though I don't really care much about the story, that I like his design, kind of, I think. More Invader Zim stuff. Miku the Killer. More Tiki Toby. Usually when I don't finish my stuff, it's mostly because I don't like how it turned out and I don't want to waste more energy on it. Another Invader Zim OC. Yeah, I just drew her a few times. Trying to be more adjacent to the actual anatomy of the show. A thing of Zuko, but again, I didn't like it. Oh yeah. So the next part is just like me delving into my next obsession and my absolute frustration and not being able to draw my favorite character. Because if you are into Baldur's Gate 3 and you like Astarion, you might know that he is awfully hard to draw. Especially, I'm not used to drawing men. I suck at drawing men. I know that. I only started drawing men when I got into Mystic Messenger, and to be fair, that barely counts as men because they're still very anime, very feminine looking at times. But Starion, he's very much more a man. So I'm very sorry for the awful attempts at drawing him. I have gotten better, not much, but I feel like I've gotten the gist of him, and maybe at the end of the video we'll put in some of my digital drawings to just redeem myself, to defend my honor. I just have to remind myself, so be kind. My first attempt, it's been a while since I even tried semi-realistic portraits, and it doesn't work in the way that I try to draw because I am very much used to drawing flat stuff. So working from something 3D to 2D, it's very hard. So there's just a lot of those attempts, and me failing very hard. But then there's Lae'zel. She's much easier to draw. I like Lae'zel. She's good. I also ship her with Shadowheart because I do love a good enemies to lovers. And they're like very, very much that. I don't even have much to say. It's just like I got into Baldur's Gate 3 and I was so frustrated at not being able to draw any of them that I just quit the sketchbook and was like, no, we're moving on. I do draw more digitally at the moment, and that might stay that while for a bit because I don't have that much time at hand. Also, these are just more swatches, like a lot of them, because I got new alcohol markers. But yeah, that's about it. It was a journey. I made a lot of terrible art, but that's how we learn. And on to the next sketchbook, which I already started. Okay, bye.